team is always out in April. We are terrible. Anyways, that's nobody else baseball. But there's one statistic in baseball that's really, really important to understand. I've tried to live my life sort of based upon the statistic. It's called WAR, which is now has a different meaning, obviously, but it's wins above replacement. And wins above replacement means if you were to take the statistics of an average player, just the absolute average player, are you better or worse than the most average player? And the answer is, if you are the average player, that's how they would slot you in from a salary perspective, from a roster perspective, and whatever else it would be. I believe, and I was taught from a very, very young age, that none of us are average. And so therefore, every job that I've had and every opportunity that I've had, I've looked at it and said, if somebody else can do this job as well as I can do this job, this is not the job for me. Because why am I doing this job if somebody else could do this job as well as I could? So I went to Shalden and then studied in Yeshiva University, finished at Yeshiva University and became a rabbi. I became a rabbi not because I was interested in becoming a rabbi, I became a rabbi because that was the first time in my life I was learning Torah at a higher level, and it was very exciting to me. And I wanted to stay, and for me, I have ADD to a very high degree. So if I'm not in a very specific program, I just get lost. And so the smicha program at YU is what happens when you're done with school. That way you can stay in a concentrated program. And at the end of the smicha program, one of the rabbis for replacement for what job you get says, who here does not want to be a rabbi? Which is a funny thing to ask people about to graduate from smicha school. So I rose up my hand and I said, I do not want to be a rabbi. He goes, I've got a perfect job for you. And I actually was wound up getting the best job out of all of rabbinic placement because the shul that I got sent to just had hired a very young rabbi. And they did not want, for the assistant rabbi of this big shul, they didn't want a competitor to compete with that young rabbi. So they wanted to get the guy who didn't want to be a rabbi. So I said, I would take that job. And I begin with that because that's where I met my wife. My wife was running the NCSY programs in that shul, and she invited me to come speak to her students that first Slichos program. And it's not many people who can say that they met their wife at a Slichos program, but I am one of those people. And we went out, we got married. Right now, it's great, right? People know somebody else met their wife in a Slichos program, we should go to Slichos, that's a good idea. We got married, and our dream was to go back to Denver, and I was gonna run a real estate business in Denver. I've been in real estate since the age of 14. Working on development in downtown Denver. Doesn't make a difference right now, and that was sort of the goal. And my wife said over the course of getting engaged and married, we should spend at least a year working in chinuch. You became a rabbi, it would be fun, let's go do something there. And we applied all over the world. We looked in South Africa, we looked in Australia, we looked in Boca Raton, that was very far away from us at that point in time, and we couldn't decide on any of the jobs. And as we took the summer off to run around the United States, my wife tells me at the end of, we were hiking in Yosemite, at the end of the hike, she said, during the break, I accepted a job for us. I said, awesome, what job did you accept for us? She goes, you're gonna be the rabbi of a program for kids who are not connected to Judaism. I said, that sounds fantastic, maybe we'll go to Kansas. Maybe we'll go to Oklahoma, someplace like really chutz min hamach. And I said, where's that gonna be? She goes, in New York. I said, oh, upstate New York, maybe like Albany or Buffalo or Syracuse. She goes, not quite that upstate. I said, where? She goes, Woodmere. So, and if you've never watched Fiddler on the Roof, I mean, it is the actual shtetl. I'm like, this is not exactly our dream of going out of town. She goes, but it's an important organization, and they need somebody with some fresh blood to be able to go and run it. And a 1-year commitment turned into 9 years. I spent 9 years running an organization called NCSY. My wife knew there, you'll see she's a common theme throughout the speech because it's relevant to keeping somebody with ADD on a path that makes sense. She told me at the beginning of the 9th year, she goes, I didn't know that this was your last year. And I turned to her and I said, what do you mean? Why is this my last year? She goes, every year that you got ready to run the organization, there was always a new program or a new initiative or something else that you were going to do. And this year, all you did was paint the office. So there's no world that you're gonna stick around if you're just painting the office. And she knew well before I knew that I was done with a particular job. So she knew, and as soon as she planted that further in my idea, I started thinking about what else I was gonna do. I went into education technology, I built a couple companies there, went into real estate again, which has been a lifelong dream of mine at that point in time. And by coincidence and happenstance, I got involved with politics. I was sitting at a dinner with somebody. It's actually an important lesson. This is probably a very important lesson. When I was running NCSY, nobody told me when they hired me that you have to raise money, which some people know this is a really hard thing to do. And there was, you build a great institution, you build great things, you have to pay for them. But nobody told me that was part of my job. I thought I was a cool rabbi. I was supposed to like run great programs. I was a cool rabbi. I was supposed to ask family members for money. It's a different job description. But anyways, that was what we got involved with doing. And I got a check from a guy for $500. And I looked up who were the people who were giving money on Rosh Hashanah. This guy sent me a check for $500. And turns out this guy was really rich. And he could send me a check for much more than $500. So my goal was to get a meeting with this guy, because once he met me, he would be charmed, obviously. And I send him a note. Thank you so much for the donation. We're going to do great things with it. Can we meet? He doesn't respond to my note. On Hanukkah, I sent him a menorah made by kids in public school, their very first menorah, and have it dropped off at his house asking for a meeting. And he doesn't respond to that. On Purim, we sent Shalach Manos from a public school kid who never heard of Purim before with a special note. Dear Mr. Can you please meet with me? No response. On Pesach, I brought a matzahs that we baked with kids who had never baked matzahs before. No response. And on Shavuos, a cheesecake from a kids again who had never had cheesecake on Shavuos before, and no response. So now I spent $600 chasing a guy who sent me $500. I did this every year for 7 years. No response to my email, to my stopping at his door, no nothing. All I wanted from the guy was $5,000. So I spent over 7 years an extra, so it cost me $700 to not get a meeting with this guy. And so after I left NCSY, we were both at a dinner for something else, and I sit down at the table and I'm introducing myself to the people at the table. And he goes, your name sounds strangely familiar. I'm like, it sounds strangely familiar because I spent 7 years stalking you. He goes, oh, you're that guy? I said, yes, I'm that guy. He immediately looked for another table to sit at. He didn't have another table to sit at, so we spent that evening at the same table and we connected in a decent way. And about a week later, I get a phone call from him saying, hi, this is so-and-so. Can you come to my office right away? And I said, no, I'm a very busy person. There's no chance I can come to your office right away. He said, call this number and you can make an appointment. And he's like, seriously? I'm like, no, I'll be there tomorrow, no problem. Right? So I wasn't in the fundraising meeting, but I was so excited. The guy called me. I was so flattered. And I go to his office and he goes, you know what, this is in 2013. He goes, the Iran deal is bothering me a lot. I said, the Iran deal bothers me a lot. I don't know how much you guys know about geopolitics, but in the Obama administration, they were making a deal with Iran. That's the cause of so many of the tremendously horrendous things that have gone on. And we knew this back then. Most people with a brain knew this back then, that this was a terrible deal. So why would you do this deal? And our goal was to be able to get a Republican Senate to vote against this deal. That was the goal of the whole thing. He goes, well, the Iran deal bothers me. I said, it bothers me also. He goes, let's do something about it together. And I'm like, what do you want to do about it together? He goes, well, you're a smart kid. You'll figure it out. Come back tomorrow with a proposal. So I come back thinking about, I don't think this is a job offer. This is just entertainment. I don't know. He's like being a puppet master, dance, whatever else it would be. And I go back to my house. I'm like, oh, this is okay. I challenge the guy. This is the guy I spent 7 years trying to get $5,000 out of. I'm like, I'm gonna ask the guy for $250,000. And if I can $250,000, I can run a campaign. We can play in one Senate seat and I can do these things. I'm making it up as I go along. I show up the next day, I've got a proposal. It's on PowerPoint. It was really, really wonderful. And I asked the guy for $250,000. He goes, do I look like a $250,000 guy to you? I don't know how you're supposed to respond to that question. I'm like, no. And he goes, I'm not a $250,000 guy. I said, that's correct. You're a $500,000 guy. He goes, I'm not a $500,000 guy. I'm like, I don't even know how to answer this question. This is getting really dumb. He goes, I'm at least $1 million guy. I said, that's awesome, fantastic. I'd like to ask you for $1 million. He goes, will $1 million make a difference? I said, it'll make a little bit of a difference. He goes, do I look like a little bit of a difference guy? I said, absolutely not. You look like a big difference guy. Can you give me $5 million? He goes, I will give you $5 million if you can raise another $5 million. I'm like, I don't know how this happened, but at that meeting, I became in the political business. He gave me $5 million. I raised not $5 million, I wound up raising $25 million. And we ran what was probably the second largest super PAC, the cycle of 2014, trying just on the Iran deal to elect people who were going to fight against the Iran deal versus people who were going to fight for the Iran deal. And that was my first entry into politics. I didn't earn a penny for it. I didn't do it because there was money to be made, although a lot of people are grifters in the system. I did it because, again, like that baseball thing, there was some guy who decided that if I was thorough enough to follow up with this guy for 7 years without getting even a call back, then maybe I would be able to figure out something to be able to. It was a very successful super PAC. when Donald Trump won the election in 2016, I did not support him in the primaries. I supported a guy named Marco Rubio, who I became very friendly with in the fight against the Iran deal. But Ambassador Friedman is dear friends with Donald Trump. And when Donald Trump won the election in 2016, exactly 8 years ago this week, fairly unlikely circumstance, one of the first things he did, he said he was going to appoint Ambassador Friedman as the ambassador to Israel. And one of the things that has to happen when you are the ambassador to Israel, you have to get approved by the Senate. So he's looking around the neighborhood, who knows people in the Senate? Well, this guy knows some people in the Senate because I had spent the last 3 years supporting senators who were on the right side of foreign policy. And we went to a bunch of these meetings and we had a super great time meeting these senators. It was such a breath of fresh air coming from Obama's perspective to a new perspective. It was eyes wide open with the opportunities that were going to be there. And Ambassador Friedman is one of the smartest, strategic, diligent, caring, super people that I've ever met, and had a great time with no thought that there was ever going to be a job in it for me. But I knew if he was going to have a job, how cool would that possibly be? And at the end of a series of meetings, I'll say this one more thing. You guys are at the right age. So when Marco Rubio dropped out in March of 2016, I looked at my wife and she looked at me and we said, no more politics. So I had spent now 3 years running around like a crazy person working on politics. The guy I supported was no longer in it. So now this is the time to be done. Now I was going to focus on building our family. We wanted to buy a new house. I wanted to buy a new business. I got into infrastructure and construction. Again, sort of an ADD approach to entrepreneurialism. And that was my goal. I bought a business in Texas. We bought a new house. We had a baby. And we were set on our path of living in the shtetl of Woodmere for the rest of our lives. And as that happens, on January 23rd, my wife has our at that point in time our baby, and that was why I didn't go to the inauguration. You don't want to leave your wife while that's happening, and this doesn't make a difference. And she has a baby. A week later, I moved houses in Woodmere because you have to live only in Woodmere. And I'm moving from house number 1 to house number 2, taking care of my wife with the little baby at home. And my wife calls me. My job is to make sure the stuff gets from place 1 to place 2. And my wife calls me and says, "Stop what you're doing." I said, "What do you mean stop what I'm doing? We've been talking about this move for a year. I'm working on this." She goes, "The baby stopped breathing. Then you stop what you're doing." And put everything down and drove as fast as you could possibly drive to the hospital. And we spent the next 9 days and nights in the hospital. The baby's fantastic now. She is 7 years old and driving us nuts, which is what you're supposed to do when you're 7. And she's awesome. So that's the end of the story. But you can imagine on day number 10 was a Thursday, and Ambassador Friedman invited me that day to go down to Washington, D.C. with him for more meetings with senators. And so I was exhausted. I did the night shift in the hospital, sleeping on one of those chairs that looks as comfortable as that booth for the night. Booth looks comfortable for the day, it's not for the night. It's a wonderful booth. And I was exhausted, but okay, the alternative was unpacking. So I decided that I would go down with Ambassador Friedman. We went to meetings, and at the end of the meetings, he had taken lunch and he went to see the president of the White House. I took lunch and I went in the Senate dining room with Marco Rubio, and we meet up on the train to drive back to take the train back to New York. And at the end of the train ride, Ambassador Friedman pulls a card out of his pocket like this. We travel with these cards, and he goes on our to-do list of things to go. He goes, "You know, the president said that I can bring somebody with at the embassy. He's going to ask me to be part of the peace team, and since I'm going to be part of the peace team." Since I'm going to be part of the peace team, I need to bring somebody to help work on the embassy also. I said, "That's fantastic." I pulled out my little card. I said, "In case this was the case, I've got a list of 10 people that you should call to see if they would want the job." And he goes, "I don't need a list of your 10 people." I said, "Why not?" He goes, "I know who I want to hire." I said, "Who do you want to hire?" He says, "I want to hire you." I said, "That's really awesome. That's fantastic. Can I tell you what the last 10 days of my life have been like?" And I recounted the baby in the hospital and all these things. I said, "When do you need to have an answer for this?" Is now a Thursday evening. He says, "I need to know by Monday." So I said, "Well, as I don't want to get divorced, I'm not going to bring this up with my wife because that would be a psychotic thing to do. So let's just assume that you're going to have to meet one of these other 10 people and you're going to have to hire one of them." And he goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Oh, it's the wrong time. It's just, I don't know how I'm going to be able to ask the question, even though this is a job that I'm so anxious to be able to have. And I didn't even know it existed before this train ride happened." I get back to my house. I don't raise it up with my wife. It's our first Shabbos in the house with all of our kids. We are so excited for Shabbos. We put the kids to sleep Friday night, and my wife looks at me and says, "Spill the beans." So what do you mean spill the beans? She goes, "What's on your mind?" I said, "Well, we've always lived our lives by the philosophy of right opportunity at the wrong time. I'll say that once more. Right opportunity at the wrong time equals the wrong opportunity. Right opportunity at the wrong time equals the wrong opportunity. And I said, look, it's the wrong time. It's not the right opportunity therefore. So I'm going to tell Ambassador Friedman that we can't take the job. And she goes, 100%. Can't believe you even brought this up. You know, hospital, baby, new house, all of these things, all the things that you're going to hear. We go to sleep. She wakes up at 3 a.m. to feed the baby. And she chucks a pillow at my head and she says, Aryeh, we've lived our lives by the wrong philosophy. Now this is a great time to have a deep, meaningful conversation. Like, okay, sweetheart, tell me, as we're both sleep deprived, why have we lived our lives by the wrong philosophy? She goes, the philosophy we have doesn't count for Emunas Hashem. I said, what do you mean? She goes, if it's truly the right opportunity, isn't it your job to make it the right time? Do you think HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends you the right opportunity and doesn't send you the right time? So it's not convenient, it's not easy, it's not simple. But isn't that your part of the tafkid? Isn't that your part of the job to be able to make it work? And I said, you're 100% correct. And she goes, so take the job. So we go to sleep, wake up the next morning, I look at her, she looks at me, we say nothing to each other, pretend as though the conversation never happened. I drive immediately after Havdalah to Ambassador Friedman's house, and I tell Ambassador Friedman, you know, I spent all weekend, but I convinced my wife that we should take the job. He turns to me, how? I said, I'll tell you later. And I said, the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to tell you you shouldn't hire me. And he goes, what do you mean? Said, I think it would be a big mistake. At that point in time, I think that week, the New York Times came out with a big article about David Friedman, how he's disqualified for the job because his father was a rabbi. So he won't be able to look at the US-Israel relationship through the prism of the United States of America. He'll only look at it through the prism of a Jew. And that's a terrible thing, obviously. And that's a disqualifying thing. I said, look, there are probably 120 million Americans who agree with you. There's probably only one that's an Orthodox rabbi on your actual list of people to hire. Why don't you hire one of the other 119 million people that you can possibly get? And I've got a list of very qualified people out there. We'll all make the same decisions. But why disqualify based upon who I am? Then he said something that I thought was tremendously profound. He said, you're correct, I offered the wrong person the wrong job. I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, I offered a person a job who thinks that it would be an advantage. To know the difference between labor and Likud and Ramla and Ramallah, and to be able to speak the language, to know the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament, and how there's a difference between Fish and Chazidish, and all of these various different things, and to be comfortable in understanding that. But if somebody believes that that is a disadvantage to have that information, then that person is most certainly not qualified for the job. But do you think for a moment that it'd be a disqualification to hire a Catholic to be the ambassador of the Holy See, or somebody with English roots to be the ambassador of the United Kingdom? Says it only with the Jews that you want to have this standard? And I jumped out of my chair, which I remember he loves his low couches. It was not so easy to jump out of the chair, but I jumped out of the chair and I said, you might have offered the wrong guy the wrong job, but I'm the right guy and I'd like to take that job. And I always share those two stories for the following reason, especially when speaking with people like you who are about to make the decision that will affect the next 30 years of your life. Number one is never wait for the right time to do something. You can wait forever, and that right time may never come around. If there's a right opportunity, jump at it. It doesn't matter what else is in the way, because the amount of times that I would be kicking myself for having missed being in the room when not American history, not Israeli history, but world history happened over the 4 years that I had a chance to work in, I think, what was one of the more interesting administrations in history. Because my wife woke up at 3 in the morning and said we were doing it incorrectly. So if I can pass that message on to one person, jump at the opportunity, make something the right time. Don't use that as an excuse. There's always a reason to say no. It is harder to say yes. And the second thing I think applies less to you guys in this room from where I was sitting, that sometimes you think that you have to stand on this foot to be an American and to stand on that foot to support Israel. And David Friedman taught me very clearly, you can stand firmly on both feet and nobody can ever push you over. And that's how we led the administration for 4 years, following David, following the president on that one. But I would make the same argument here in Machon Lev. I am positive that there are plenty of times that somebody is going to look at you and decide that your Shmiras HaMitzvos is going to be a disadvantage in the workplace. And sometimes you'll think that if you can stand on this foot quickly and enough in between the two things, you can hop back and forth. Maybe people won't know that you're both a Ben Torah and a fantastic entrepreneur. And for a half a second, you shouldn't be confused like I was confused. You should know that by standing on both feet firmly, of being a Ben Torah and being an entrepreneur makes you a better Ben Torah, makes you a better entrepreneur. You're not weaker in one world versus the other, you're actually stronger in both. And the more you realize that, the earlier you realize that, the more confidently you realize that, the better you will be in both places. I now have enough experience to have seen this in real time, and I can tell you with 1000% confidence of that. And I'll give you two examples of why that would be the case. In June of 2019, I was asked to lead a delegation to the Kingdom of Bahrain. You guys know where Bahrain is? Okay, it's a little island off of Saudi Arabia. We ran something there called the Peace to Prosperity Conference. This was the beginning of our deal of the century. It ultimately became part of the Abraham Accords. And it was my job, driving me nuts. Giving a talk, I'll call you in 30 minutes. Let's see if that works. Okay. Just a little flex, that's, no, we won't flex on that one. What's that?
Flex space over there.
Very good. This was, no, I meant to flex on, never mind. Okay. Even if we speak English, we don't necessarily speak the same English always, that's okay. So my job was to bring 9 Israelis and 9 Palestinians to Bahrain to this conference that we were going to talk about peace to prosperity. And the big question was whether I was going to wear my kippah to Bahrain. And the State Department warned me and said, you shouldn't show up into a Muslim country and look like an Orthodox Jew. It's one thing to do that in Israel. It's another thing to do that in Bahrain. They're going to be very confused by who you are. And I'm like, okay, you know, you're the State Department, you're in charge of like the world's foreign policy. So that's an interesting comment, but it doesn't sound right. So I'm going to call a friend. I'm going to get a contact with somebody in Bahrain. So I called a friend and I found a good friend in Bahrain, or a connection through a good friend in Bahrain. And I called up this guy and I said, you know, I got your name from this mutual contact. Do you mind if I ask you a question? I've got 2 questions for you, actually. He said, sure, you can ask me a question. I said, I was told not to wear a kippah when I come to visit Bahrain. Is that correct? He goes, you don't need to ask me a second question. I said, what do you mean I don't need to ask you a second question? He says, what kind of person do you think I am that I would tell you not to be you when you come to visit me? Listen to that very carefully. What kind of person do you think I am that I would tell you not to be you when you come to visit me? And he said, if you aren't comfortable being you when you come to visit me, then we're not going to have an actual relationship. And I thought that was a very profound comment. And for that moment, there was never the remotest havamina that I would take off my kippah in any of the places that we went. I'm fairly confident I'm the first guy who wore a kippah in Bahrain. They opened up the shul for us. I'm fairly confident I'm the first guy who walked around with a kippah in Saudi Arabia. I'm fairly confident I'm the first guy who walked around with a kippah in Abu Dhabi, not in Dubai. And I'm fairly confident I'm the only guy in the last 7 years who walked around with a kippah in Sudan. And I don't recommend that, by the way, by any stretch. Out of the regrets that I had, that was likely a place that I should have worn a baseball cap. But we took on the lesson of you are who you are, and you should be incredibly proud of who you wind up being. So all of that comes to say, so where are we today? We had the privilege, working in the previous administration, of building what I thought was the strongest U.S.-Israel relationship in history. The recognition of Jerusalem as the capital, moving our embassy to Yerushalayim, the recognition of the Golan Heights, coming out with the deal of the century, ultimately being a special envoy for the Abraham Accords. We negotiated 5 peace treaties between Israel and Arab and Muslim countries in 123 days. And then we got fired because we didn't win the election. And to me, that was the most, I'll give you a sense of what I was doing. Our job ended on January 20th at 7 p.m. Israel time. Ambassador Friedman and his wife invited myself and my wife to join them. They started their job. The very first thing Ambassador Friedman did when he landed was to go to the Kotel to daven for Hatzlacha during his job. And the very last thing he did as an ambassador was to go to the Kotel and offer up Gar Satov for the success that he had in the job. So we offered my wife and I to come with him for that last evening. And at 6 p.m., they're all waiting for me at the Kotel, and I didn't get out of the car. Why didn't I get out of the car? Because it was my job to negotiate overflight for all the flights that were flying between UAE and Bahrain and Israel every day for all 123 days that we were in office that the peace treaties happened. every flight that flew over Saudi Arabia happened because Mohammed, who's the head of aviation in Saudi Arabia, called me that morning and said, here are the 8 flights that are going to fly over the kingdom. And he couldn't use the word Israel. He couldn't call an Israeli number. He had to call my US number, and we used code words for what those flight numbers were. And only when I granted permission, because the United States of America wanted these flights to go, did those flights then have permission to go. This was every single day for 123 days. We didn't have a system for what would happen on day 124. There was no what happens tomorrow when these planes are going to take off. What direction are they going to fly? What happens if there's an emergency? Who do they call? And so at 6:40 p.m., 20 minutes left of my job, we negotiated a system so the next day planes would fly. We negotiated a 1-year system, assuming at that point in time, the next administration would take this over because this was a pretty awesome idea. We left. What do you do when you have the greatest job in the history of the world? The next thing you know, you wake up, you're unemployed. You try not to be depressed is the first thing that you do. And the greatest lesson for that was going back to the Beit Midrash, going back to the base measures, getting a chance to learn for a little bit. Because the 2 things that can keep you grounded and humbled in any circumstance is realizing how much we don't know, which anytime you walk into the base measures is a very humbling experience. And then anytime you hang out with your wife and your kids should be an equally humbling experience. It brings you down to a very grounded level. That was a great 6 weeks after, and then we had to come up with something to actually do, and not to actually do, to do in addition to that. And so I was lucky enough, Jared Kushner started an investment fund called Affinity Partners, raised a lot of money. I think it was the 2nd largest private equity, growth equity fund in history, and he invited me to run the Middle East out of Israel for him for the fund. I'm very proud. We are, since the war, we're the largest investors in Israel of outside capital in non-technology businesses here in Israel. We invested, we bought 10% of the Phoenix, which is a large pension insurance business here, about 15% of a company called Shlomo 6, which is the largest car rental and leasing business here. And we made those bets deliberately after the war. We thought this was an important time to be able to invest. It's no secret, our largest limited partner is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, their investment fund called PIF. And they're our largest investor. So if you can imagine during a war, the largest outside investor into Israel is a fund that's largest investor is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. That's a wild idea, if you can imagine such a thing. I also help a company called Oracle build clouds in Arab countries. I'll give you one fantastic Oracle story. We're very, very proud of. In the middle of the Abraham Accords, I got a call from Safra Katz, who's the CEO of Oracle, and she calls me and she says that Larry and I want to help with the Abraham Accords. This is awesome. I turned to her ignorantly and said, who is Larry? And she said, Larry Ellis. And I'm like, oh, okay. I don't call him Larry, but that sounds awesome. Says, what do you guys want to do? She goes, look, the concept that Jared and President Trump and Ambassador Friedman built of prosperity and peace, we the ecosystem. And that demonstrates to you that peace meaningfully pays, and to be able to do that also post-war or in the post-war, in the middle of the war, to make that statement is a pretty incredible thing. How far does this go out? This just goes on Zoom. Does this get recorded and then reshared anywhere? Iran, does this get reshared beyond this Zoom? Has this been recorded beyond that?
Zoom is great, but before we do anything with it, we'll.
Okay, I'll tell the story after when you turn the camera off. Okay, fantastic. And then, maybe we'll do Q&A without the camera. I've run this thing called the AAPI, the Abraham Accord Peace Institute, which we'll get to this way. The guy named John Kirby is a spokesperson for the State Department. In May of 2021, he was asked by the Matt Lee, who is the reporter for the AP, who's a very fair reporter. He says mean things to everybody, which is I think how reporters are supposed to be. Exposed on countries. And he asked John Kirby, who's a spokesperson for the State Department, what do you call these agreements that the previous administration negotiated? And you can YouTube the clip. He spends about 3 minutes and 40 seconds turning himself into a pretzel to not use the word Abraham Accords. And I got so upset that night, said, how is it possible that peace is breaking out in the Middle East and nobody wants to even talk about it? So I sat down that night and wrote a book called Let My People Know. Because to me, it was a shanda, it was an embarrassment that the American people don't know that peace is breaking out in the Middle East, and this is something that we should be absolutely investing in. So I wrote a book on how we got to where we got to and where we should be going from there. And that book sort of led to a bunch of other conversations. We stood up an Amutah called the Abraham Accord Peace Institute, and our CEO moved to a different opportunity right before the war. So I stepped up and I've been the CEO of this organization through the war. When you look at the Emirati Field Hospital in Gaza, you look at how the Moroccans have been able to ship stuff outside of UNRWA to the Palestinians in Gaza. When you look at the relationships that have existed in between the countries, even during these challenging times, this is all came from our small organization, making sure to keep the glue of peace in the region alive. This is another example of Vayifan Chova Chova Yar Ki Eish. Lots of other people should have done this. Nobody else did this, so we stood this up and we ran about and did this. I'll share with you just one more thing that I'd much rather do Q&A. I'm helping President Trump run. I hope that he does win. I think that there's a meaningful opportunity because of the incredible heroism, courage, strength, and vision of Israel to change the Middle East moving forward. I think that Israel has done that with at least one hand tied behind its back. I think the current administration has been particularly unfair to Israel. This is in a world of no-brainers in terms of who is right and who is wrong. To not be incredibly clear about who is right and who is wrong is a moral flaw for my country. I'm not Israeli, I'm American, and it's embarrassing to me to be wrong on this issue or to not be crystal clear on this issue. It's a flaw in our country, and as I explain to groups across America all the time, the Jews will figure it out. If you look at history, countries that were good to the Jews and they are no longer good to the Jews are undefeated at being defeated. Happened 3,331 years ago with the Egyptians, and there's not a single disproof to that theory. Countries that were good to the Jews and were no longer good to the Jews are undefeated at being defeated. This is not an issue with Israel. Israel will figure it out. The Jewish people will figure it out. It's just in the DNA of the way the planet works. The United States of America, which I think is one of the greatest gifts that has ever befallen upon this planet, is a gift, and gifts need to be nurtured and maintained and to be grown. And one of our failings will be having lack of moral clarity. What does that bring me to? That brings me to I didn't know what the issues would be with Israelis and Jews traveling to the UAE in the early part of the war. I wanted to accomplish two things. Number one was I felt that the new allies of Israel or new relations with Israel were not being told what was really happening. They were getting much of their news from horrendous news sources, and that could be the New York Times, BBC, or worse. Difficult to imagine worse, but one of those. And I'll give you just one example of that. I was on Sky News Arabia, which is the most pro-Western news outlet in the GCC in the Gulf. And they asked me on, I don't know, it was October 21st or so, and their interviews are in Arabic. So there's a translator. And the translator begins with, "It's an honor to have you on. Thank you so much. Isn't it fair that the women were raped on October 7th for all of the years of Israeli soldiers raping Palestinian women?" So I said, "I'm so sorry, I think there's something wrong with the translation. Would you mind retranslating that for me again?" And he retranslates it and translates exactly the same way. I said, "I'm so sorry, I thought I was on Sky News Arabia news channel and not the fear, whatever, however you would say it, Nazi propaganda channel," and I hung up the Zoom. You can't negotiate with people who have just are completely and totally wrong. I didn't think they were going to call me back. They did call me back about 2 weeks later, and I got on a Zoom with them, but this time I was prepared. They had done a study in 2016. How racist are Israeli soldiers? says the same newscaster who asked me this question. In every other example of quote occupation, soldiers rape the local population, but not Israeli soldiers. They are so racist that they will not even rape the Palestinian woman. It was the whole hour report that this same reporter had come out with. So before they asked me a question, I said, I'm happy to be here. I just want to quote from one of the more venerated resources here in the Middle East. Can I quote a documentary that you guys had put out? From who goes, oh, it's a great documentary. I said, and how does that jive with the question that you had just asked me? And the person then hung up on me. So it's important to know what atmosphere you're walking into and how to be prepared for that. But that was not actually what I wanted to tell you. What I wanted to tell you was I flew to Abu Dhabi maybe November, first week in November, to go meet with I have a friend there. His name is Major General Faris. He's in charge of Homeland Security in the UAE. UAE is a very safe place. It's an important job, great. I wanted to go meet with him. I had two asks about the Abraham Accords. Now, they have these things at their homes called a modulus. Has anybody been to a modulus? It's like a Kostenstisch. Except instead of sitting at one table, it's a big square. And you sit at this big square and you sit there for like 4 or 5 hours. And every Monday to Thursday night, you show up to this modulus. And that's where you get your business done. That's where you connect. That's what it's a fantastic way to maintain culture. And when I go there, it's really my favorite thing to do. You get to meet fantastic people. So Major General Faris has a modulus. It's the modulus I normally go to. It was the war. I didn't want to see my own family. I certainly want to see people who weren't my family. So I went there. I asked for a meeting with him. He granted me the meeting. He says, and I'll see you at the modulus tonight. And I said, I'm not going to your modulus tonight. He says, I'll see you at the modulus tonight. So that the second time was not a question. The second time was, you shall come to the modulus. Now, normally when you go to a modulus, you show up and you start at the left and you go salam alaikum and they say alaikum salam and you work your way around until you get to the head of the table, in this case Major Faris, and then General Faris, and he sits you where he wants to sit you, and he's the orchestrator for the course of the evening, and you move where he tells you to move when he tells you to move there. And I show up, I'm like, I don't really want to do the alaikum salam, salam alaikum, the whole thing now. I'm not in the headspace of doing this. And my car pulls up and there's a big commotion by the car. And General Faris himself opens up the door of my car, which is a major break of protocol, helps me out of the car and gives me a bear hug with a kiss on each cheek. And he takes me by the hand and brings me up to the seat immediately next to him and has everybody come around and do the salam alaikum salam to me as though I was the head of the table and everything. And there were two guys there who were big social media stars in Abu Dhabi. They both took pictures with me and of Faris hugging me. And I whispered to him, and I said, I see what you did there. And the message that he sent was, what's happening over there does not reflect on the relationship over here. And you, meaning Israelis, you, meaning Jews, you, meaning whoever, are still as welcome and encouraged and invited to be here. This is your home as much as it is our home. And I took that message meaningfully to heart. We've got horrendous news going on over here, but the future is so incredibly bright because of, again, the incredible bravery, heroism, courage. I'm sure you all have many friends. Maybe some of you guys yourself have been serving and certainly sacrificing in meaningful ways that we never thought we'd have to contemplate on such a scale. Just as I tell my kids, and I'll conclude with this, and happy to take any questions that anybody wants. It is very rare that people get to write their own chapters in history. Most of the time you get to read history because it happens to somebody else. You get to be a spectator. And I would always ask my kids, I still ask my kids this question when I drop them off at carpool, is do you want to be a spectator or a participant? Because that's a choice everybody gets to make every morning when they wake up. Do you want to watch what happens or do you want to be part of what's happening? And now since the war, I've changed that question for the kids because it's not enough to participate. Do you want to be a leader? Do you want to be a participant? Nobody can be a spectator. History won't even record the spectators. History will record a little bit of the participants. But the leaders are going to shape what history looks like. And what an incredible moment to be part of the leadership of the Jewish people here. I mean, if you don't feel this moment in history, you're missing out on something. And to be in this incredible place here, to be, again, not hopping from one foot to the other, but standing firmly on both feet as leaders or as aspiring leaders is really an incredible thing. So anyways, it's my honor to come spend a little bit of time with you guys. I hope that the next 4 years are going to be wildly exciting and positive in a different way than the past 4 years have been, but who knows, that's what winds up happening. Questions, comments, issues, yes,
So, you said earlier when Hashem presents.
what's your name?
Gabriel Rosenthal.
From where?
From Chicago and Tina. Now here. You said when Hashem presents an opportunity to you, you should take it, right? So I would like to walk you to your car after and talk to you if that's.
Sure. Okay, I'm taking a cab, but you can walk me until the cab gets here, but no problem, yes.
Joseph Frigal, originally from Baltimore, Maryland, so Israel.
Did you vote?
In the process of it.
Okay, it's a big vote in Maryland. It's not telling anybody in this institution who to vote for. Maryland, there's a big Senate election.
Haven't lived there in 11 years.
It's okay.
I don't really care.
Oh, you gotta care. What do you mean you don't really care?
It's not my country anymore.
Oh,
It's, you know.
okay, we can talk about that.
I'd love to-
That wasn't your question. Go ahead. What's your
I'll
question?
walk you to the car with,
Fantastic.
part of the Abraham Accords, as far as I understand, was actually, part of it was telling us to stop the, call for Rebbeut on the West Bank.
Mhm.
You as a American politician and you as a religious Jew going back into hopefully a Trump administration, assuming that, you know, we can actually rely on the voting system. Then how do you feel about that aspect going forward? Is there a plan to then continue the Abraham Accords into something new, more peace treaties, additional investment opportunities, allowing Israel to take control over historical Israeli land? Or are you going to continue pushing a Palestinian state? Because at the end of the day, the Abraham Accords did push for a connective tunnel between the West Bank and Gaza, which, as we see now, would have been a total atrocity and possibly the end of Israel, if they could have moved arms around and having Hamas running back and forth. And so you as a political figure, entrepreneur, et cetera, how do you take that going forward? And then a totally side question is, as someone in the business track, what do you say, what advice would you give to someone our age trying to break into entrepreneurial territory? You've bounced around a lot throughout your story in different positions, jobs. What are key lessons that you would give us?
Awesome, okay. First point about the Middle East and positioning. Anybody who's married to yesterday's idea is not aware of what's going to happen tomorrow. And what we put forth at that time, we thought was the best and most realistic opportunity to happen. It clearly did not happen. We do believe that putting out the plan to change the environment in the region allowed for the Abraham Accords to happen. And we believe that had the Biden administration followed up on it, I think we would actually be looking at the end of the Arab-Israeli conflict. And I think when you end the Arab-Israeli conflict, you actually wind up with a situation here on a micro level that looks actually radically different than it is right now. What I would look at today, if President Trump winds up winning, will inherit a radically different Middle East. There's been one peace treaty that's been signed in the last 4 years that was brokered by China in between Iran and Saudi Arabia. You obviously have the war that began on October 7th. You have what Israel's been able to do, which is to change the Matzav in Gaza so far. Partially and maybe thoroughly with Hezbollah, and certainly with what happened Friday night with Iran has demonstrated something else. So one of the greatest flaws that the Biden administration made was they walked in as though there never was a Trump administration, ignoring all the other policies, walking in as though it didn't exist is just foolish. And it would be foolish of anybody from a future administration to walk in as though the last 4 years hasn't happened. So what I would tell you is that if any investor, any entrepreneur, you could have a great idea. If it's not marked to market, then it's not a great idea anymore. So we'll mark the Middle East to market in a meaningful way, and I think that
What do you mean by market?
you have to, whatever has happened in the world has now changed. So I think the opportunities here are meaningfully more than what they were before. And some of the constraints that existed prior no longer exist. And you now have a great is exactly the wrong word. You now have fairly strong evidence of what would happen if various different machinations had continued, and therefore gives you a good reason to not try the same thing again. So that there are different things that have been learned, different lessons that have been learned, because I'm actually working on this right now. I'd like to keep that part a little bit closer to the vest, but there will certainly be no attempt to say it's January 2021, let's just go on as though the last 4 years hadn't happened. I would look at the last 4 years as challenging and as traumatic certainly as the last year has been, have actually opened up enormous opportunities for a completely different Middle East, not based upon the things beforehand. In terms of entrepreneurship, I would say three things that have worked for me. It doesn't work for everybody else. If you don't love what you're doing, entrepreneurship is hard enough, you're in the wrong business. Meaning you keep looking for what it is that you are going to love doing, but there are so many highs and so many lows. If that is not part of like the experience that you love, you're gonna drive everybody else around you nuts and likely to lead to a pretty unstable, like the rest of your life, which actually matters much more. So if this is not something that makes you a better husband, father, friend, inventor, or whatever else it would be, go be a lawyer. Or I don't mean to make fun of lawyers, I'm sorry, you know, when I'm waving to the camera, maybe there's one there. I'm saying, but something that's much, you know what you're doing when you wake up in the morning. I toy with the idea that I would have been a great pediatrician. I wouldn't be. I pass out every time I see blood and needles and kids. But other than that, like there's some enjoyment of going every day and knowing what you're going to do from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m. Like that's wildly possibly interesting until it's not. I enjoy the roller coaster, at least I think I enjoy the roller coaster, and I think it makes me into a better who I am. With that, entrepreneurship is so awesome because, you know, the world, I think you will spend more time figuring out how to build stuff that will go into Saudi and into Singapore than you will Canada and France. I think we're looking at 10 years where if I were a betting person, the future of meaningful parts of the economic world are going to center around places 200 miles from here, not across an ocean. And that's exciting. I think that Israel has the ability to position itself once more as a crossroads of civilization and should be taking advantage of that. In terms of technology, I've listened to the tour that I got of all the buildings over here. Whatever advice I would give you was terrible because I hadn't heard of most of the studies that you guys can study in here. So if something grips you and grabs you on that one, that's fantastic. I would tell you this, if you know anything about defense tech, you are gonna be really rich over the next 15 years. I mean, if that's remotely interesting, that's awesome. If it's not remotely interesting, don't do it, like me being a pediatrician. But I'm saying if that's remotely interesting, that is going to be a meaningful growth industry, unfortunately.
Josh Aryeh, originally from West Hempstead. Now my family lives in Baco. Coming from somebody who did business.
Does business.
Does business,
Does business.
right? Currently does business. When it comes time for us to start our careers, where do you advise we start our jobs to eventually climb up the ladder?
Depends on what you want to do. The very first job I got when I went to the operating room. My father's a doctor, both of his parents are doctors, and 3 of his grandparents were doctors, so I needed to be a doctor. So I went to go see my first surgery right before bar mitzvah, and I passed out before the first patient came in, and then my father looked at me and said, "What are we gonna do with this one?" Right, which was the correct response. And I'm lucky enough that my mother has a brother who's, you know, not a doctor, he's in real estate. So they're like, let's ship him off to real estate camp. And he's a very patient guy. He picked me up every morning on the way to work in the summer, and I just sat there and learned from him. And to me, it didn't matter whether it was real estate or if it was anything else. I got to learn from somebody who treated people. I could spend hours just lecturing you on what I learned from him as a 14-year-old. Likely, I've never learned anything more meaningfully in my life than in the summers that I spent with him. So if you can find somebody like that, awesome. I would also tell you this, stay away from jerks. Life is way too short. There's lots of attractive ways to be able to make money and to do stuff like that. There's no amount of money that's worth working with people who don't have the same moral compass or menschlichkeit that you guys deserve. There's really not. Maybe there's some amount of money, but not not within the realm of reason.
Moshe Aksa, live here with my wife on campus. As someone who's finishing up SNEECA and doing a business degree, and the other someone's gonna be doing shikut in a couple of years, for a couple of years, how do I kind of also have a sustainable income besides from being that rabbi?
So I learned when I was 14, that summer, amongst the things was the more passive income you can possibly get, the more independent you can wind up being. To me, it just drove me nuts that it seems like people keep their 2 valuable lessons. I'm not sure how this helps you at all. It hasn't helped me, but it's at least in the back of my mind. The more passive income you can wind up getting, the more independent you can be to take risks later. So I made my very first real estate investment with $700 when I was 14 years old. I think I lost it, but it doesn't matter. The concept was, how many checks can you get? And sometimes the market's great and sometimes it's not. I've lived through two fantastic cycles and two horrendous cycles, one of which I'm in the midst of right now. That lesson is paired with something else. There's a guy from my neighborhood who drives an Infiniti back in Long Island. He could drive a Maserati if he wanted to, and he lives in a 6-bedroom house and he could probably have a 15-bedroom house. And he told me that he and his wife, when they reached whatever that was, it was the Infiniti in the 6-bedroom house, that no matter how much more economically successful they were going to be, they were not going to change that standard of living. I wish I could tell you that I've stuck to that, but more brilliant words I'm not positive I've ever heard. And so therefore, when you want to be able to mix a life of meaning, make sure that you don't get caught up in a life of commercials. It's incredibly hard to stay out of. But whatever that is, whatever that standard is, and you have to pick the right spouse, which you picked already, so optimistic she's the right one. That you guys agree on whatever that would wind up being, and understand you guys are making an economic sacrifice to be able to provide more meaning on the planet, and that has huge value. And the fact that I think an institution like this recognizes that meaningfully, stick around with other people who recognize that meaningfully. I hang out with a lot of people who have their own planes and their own islands, their own stuff like that. I'm yet to meet any of them who are happier than the guy who drives the Infiniti. Some of them are very happy, but I'm yet to see any of them happier. Although the private plane thing is awesome. Yes.
Mentioned earlier how you
Your name?
Lady Holtzman from St. Peter. How did you build up the fortitude to go around the background and those other countries weren't like that?
In Denver, I was the only kid in downtown Denver, wore a yarmulke. You know, and I guess you had a choice. This was who you were going to be, who you're not going to be. The flaws are, I'm very far from a perfect human being. I'm positive there are other people who walked away and said, "Man, that guy's the Orthodox Jew." It might be the only Orthodox Jew that I ever meet. Certainly, when I walked into Bahrain, you have a superpower, and the superpower was a U.S. flag pin on your lapel. And you walk in with that US flag pin on your lapel, that means you've got $1 trillion military behind you. It's I remember after one of the things that the Trump administration did, the ICC, the International Criminal Court, put out they might be looking for one of the people on the team who put together something. And that person said, "I'm not gonna stop in Europe anymore because they'll pull me over and there'll be a red alert and they'll bring me into The Hague and there'll be a trial and everything else like that." And I called the guy and I said, "You should fly to Paris right now and you should tell them that you're coming." Can you imagine President Trump if one of his employees was pulled off the line to be brought in front of the International Criminal Court? Can you imagine what his reaction would be? I'm saying, don't run from those moments. When you're in the United States of America and you make a decision, embrace that like nobody's business. I'd love to tell you that was on me. I learned that Ambassador Friedman was such him and Jared Kushner and so many others. I was so blessed to have these fantastic mentors around. And as long as they blessed it, then it was great. And if they didn't bless it, you definitely don't do it.
Jakey Conway, London. From an engineering point of view, how much value do you see in getting your hands dirty with the technical side of things versus being more upper management, trying to oversee the more like strategic planning?
Yeah, so my brother is very smart. He's a data scientist and electrical engineer. And any money that I ever make in life will be invested with him. Those are the people who build stuff. I am very good at selling stuff. I wish I was smart enough to do the other things. I'm not. If you have the ability to actually create things, you can jump into that because that's irreplaceable. The only comment I would make on that, I as an investor, which is what we spend most of our time doing right now, AI will replace a lot of things, or certainly supplement a lot of things. Just be very cognizant of whatever you become expert in is flexible to whatever that might look like in a world where AI is growing at rates that we can't anticipate. I'm positive there are people here on campus who are speaking about that and what that winds up looking like. But I would very much have that in mind because you can't yet replace me by AI. At some point in time, you will. Some of your jobs will be replaced by AI, and that'll be terrible. You know what I'm saying? Find something that you are irreplaceable for.
So like we saw in the late.
Name from, come on, guys.
Ellie Schwimmer, originally from New York, New Jersey, made Aliyah a couple months ago.
Hey, that's also.
So as we saw in the like late '90s, early 2000s, that people learning computer coding that suddenly didn't work anymore as technology progressed. How do we know in the future which systems to avoid being outdated?
Yeah, you're asking exactly the wrong person about that, but I'm positive there are people here on campus who have the right answers for that. But more than anything else, I don't think it's a technique that you learn. I think it's a skill and a way of thinking and problem solving, and whatever problem you solve with whatever tools are in front of you today, I promise you there will be other problems that will need to be solved by other tools tomorrow. So if somebody gets married to this technique, then that person can become obsolete. But somebody who gets married to the ability to solve problems, that person will be priceless in whatever circumstance they're in. My wife spent a lot of time being a technology integrator. When I was building ed tech businesses, she's a master educator, and she would introduce whatever silly technology I came up with to the classroom. And her line was always that technology will not replace educators, but teachers who use technology will likely replace teachers who do not use technology. Now that still hasn't happened. We said that 15 years ago, but eventually I think that will happen because the teachers use technology correctly will be vastly superior teachers than teachers who don't teach with technology. So I think that becomes important for how we plan that.
Eli Hawk from Woodmere, also Woodmere. So I want to know I guess you mentioned a little bit about the plan, about some plans that you were working on maybe now for the future. How do you see re-educating the Palestinian people in order to impede, and we have seen recently even Israeli Arabs who have been committing terrorist attacks. There's an ISIS cell that was uncovered just a few weeks ago that wanted to blow up Azrieli Center. How do we re-educate Gaza, which is its own problem, and kind of a cycle? And now I'm sure they probably hate us also because we just blew up their entire thing.
Yeah.
And how do you?
So let's say three things at the same time. Number one is there is likely never be a solution. No solution. Let's understand that not all problems have solutions. There will be a strategy and there will be a process. I'll say something a little over my skis. The threat of radical political Islam is not as much of a threat to the state of Israel and the Jewish people as it is to the countries of moderate Islam around the region. And the more things are phrased as a Western or Israel problem, the less that they wind up getting tackled. And what I mean by that is that Israel will forever be advancing and Israel's enemies will forever be trying to catch up. And that's just it's been that way since Sefer Shmos. And the odds of that changing is highly unlikely. That doesn't mean that one doesn't need to strategize meaningfully on how to improve that. There are examples for that. Saudi Arabia to me is the favorite example for that. If you look at how Saudi was after 9/11, you were to ask the average American, where do Saudis fit in terms of your strategic relationship, it'd be pretty gosh darn towards the bottom of the list. If you want to go to a country today, my wife gets a little aggravated with me. I'm a unabashed, unashamed fanboy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I think it's probably the most exciting place on the planet today. And the reason for that isn't because they don't have bureaucracy, and it isn't because they've got all the freedoms, and because they are so excited about tomorrow that the aggravation of today is worth it. And that's, I think, a challenge that so many of our democracies have. I would tell you, out of all the things that Israel has learned over the course of this year, is that what exists here is worth fighting for. And I'm not positive. It's not worth fighting for so you don't get killed. When I say you, we, so right? It's worth fighting for because there's something special and unique about what's here. I'm not positive outside of a couple of pockets of places, this one being specific, that most Israelis would have said that on October 6th of 2023. I'm not positive. Not positive that people were more excited about the next car and the next condo and the next vacation than they were about building this unbelievable enterprise called Medinat Yisrael. I'm not positive. I don't have the answer to that. The CEO of NVIDIA has an entire talk on resilience and what that does for a person. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's 100% true. I hope to God that the people of Israel and the Jewish people don't need to learn resilience like it's been learned now. But understand that resilience changes a people, it changes a country in a meaningful way. In terms of how one affects the region, if you spend as much time as I do in Saudi and Bahrain and UAE, those countries were not the way they are today 25 years ago. And if you take a 20-month look at something, there's a reason to be depressed. If you take a generational look and say, this is the way the region is going, this is the way technology can help bring the region going, then you can actually have some optimism, but it's gonna take real leadership. The difference in between what's happening here and what's happening there, and here I mean in the Palestinian areas versus the rest of the Middle East, which is advanced, is the difference in between leadership to a great degree. And until that leadership exists, and if it ever does, then that's just going to wind up being what I mean. The way we best describe the PA is it's a mafia thug family that doesn't have any incentive to change. They only make money by being this way. So you have to change incentives. And that still won't solve it by any stretch of the imagination. There will not be a moment where there are rainbows and unicorns. And the sooner we realize that, you will not achieve success in your business where you will sit down there and say, I am done. There's no being done. I would argue that my generation was probably I'm probably 15, maybe 20 years older than you guys. I just turned 44. The last 15 years were probably the greatest years for Jews ever in the diaspora. That time is over. That's okay. Nobody said life is supposed to be easy. Life is gonna be hard. And it's gonna involve us making sacrifice. There's meaning to it. You go to the gym, it doesn't look like I do, but I used to. And if you wanna get strong, it hurts. If you go to the gym and it just looks good, you haven't done anything. That's what it is as a people. We're getting stronger, and that's what we need to do. Got time for one more question? Or no more questions? I have time for no more questions. Yes.
What was the story you said you were gonna tell?
Oh, you wanna turn on the camera real quick? I'll tell you a fun Saudi Arabia story.
Thank you for everyone watching.